Yes, I do believe in it.
احنا فعلا تطورنا بجد في الكون.
أنا مقتنع إن الإنسان كان أصلا قرد.
طبعا نظرية الإنسان أصله قرد دي نظرية قديمة وفي ناس كتيرة مقتنعة بيها. وأنا عن نفسي أنا يعني طالما إن ما فيش حاجة طلعت إن هي يعني بترفض الكلام ده أو ما بتصدقش الكلام ده، يبقى الكلام ده ماشي على الناس كلها.
Yes, I do believe in science. And I do believe that there's enough proof and there's enough similarities between humans and monkeys that we 99% sure derives from them. We just haven't found the missing links. And science says that humans, like 99% sure, origins from monkeys. It doesn't mean that we actually are monkeys, but that at some point a branch broke off from the monkeys and they evolved into humans. And so this was Darwin's theory.
Grandpa, was this true? Was your grandfather a monkey?
No, dear. This is actually a common misconception. Let me explain it to you. Why don't you get me the book on the shelf?
But do you know what evolution is? Evolution is some changes that occur over a very, very long time. What do you think are the changes that lead to evolution? The main cause of these changes is the DNA. DNA stands for deoxyribonucleic acid. It carries all the genetic information. It is made of deoxyribose sugar, phosphate group, and a nitrogenous base. A, T, G, and C. Just like the ones in the picture. T pairs with A, and G pairs with C. It is a double helix. Each 3 bases code for 1 amino acid. The sequence for 1 amino acid codes for the genes. These genes code for protein, which is responsible for the body function. These bases can change randomly, so changing the sequences form new characteristics. This change is called mutation. Mutation leads to variation in the individuals in one population. Mutation is the main cause of evolution. To simplify things, I'll show you some examples of evolution. The first one is the one of dogs and wolves. I'm sure you've noticed that dogs and wolves have many similarities. This is due to the fact that they are descended from a common ancestor. Wolves, for example, have large teeth, while the teeth of dogs are smaller. Wolves also move with their tails down, but dogs move with their tails up. Wolves' tails are straight, and those of dogs are nearly curved. Dogs may have blue eyes, and wolves have only brown eyes. Not interesting enough? I have a better example. In the 20th century, a paleontologist discovered fossils that resembled fossils of whales. These fossils were as big as wolf size, and they lived between 60 and 37 million years ago.
Million years ago?
Yes. The skull had the characteristics in common with the oldest known whales. The whales we know now are descendants of land mammals due to several physical characteristics. For example, the bones in their flippers resemble the limbs of land mammals, and their spines move up and down like a running land mammal. Most importantly, they have to breathe air, just like you and me and other land mammals. Horses and ponies also evolved in many steps. It took them about 60 million years to develop. They mainly evolved by getting longer in height and bigger in size. The earliest horse was about 60 centimeters tall.
How big is that?
That's about half your size.
Wow, that was really tiny.
Yes, but compare that to the modern day horse, which is about 1.5 meters tall. They also evolved in a neat, predictable line.
What do you mean by evolve? Do they just disappear, or how does this work?
Let me explain this to you. Some individuals have characteristics that fit with the environment, but others do not. Thus, the individuals with beneficial traits, meaning the organisms best adapted to the environment, are the ones that are able to survive and reproduce, and so they pass on these characteristics to their next generation. This is what is known as natural selection. To explain this further, organisms that cannot take the present conditions of the environment are killed off. So, the environment selects the individuals that are able to survive and have babies. Moreover, only individuals that have these traits that fit with the environment can pass on these traits onto their babies. These are the ones that can survive, and that's what is known as survival of the fittest. Natural selection does not introduce any data into the organism's DNA. It only selects out the disfigured, weak, unfit individuals of a population. This process takes billions of years. Natural selection is the main part of Darwin's theory.
Who's Darwin?
Darwin is a naturalist very well known for his theory of evolution. He traveled to the Galapagos Islands on an expedition where he found fossils of extinct animals very similar to the ones that exist today. When he came back from his expedition, he made some research from which 4 theories arose. The first one is evolution did occur. The second, evolution was gradual and it required a long scale of time. The third is that the primary cause of evolution is natural selection. And the fourth is that all species arose from a single origin through a branching process called speciation.
So why do you believe him?
Well, Darwin's theory of evolution is considered scientific because of 5 things. The first is that it's empirical. As we said before, Darwin went and studied the different species at the Galapagos Islands where there was touchable and visible evidence. It is also unbiased, because when Darwin was researching his theory, there were others, like Wallace, who had his same thoughts. It is also falsifiable, because it's testable, since we could conduct experiments in the lab and try to recreate natural selection, or in other words, artificial selection. It is repeatable. Evolution does not stop. Evolution is happening around us every day. It is quantitative, which means that all observations are based on numbers.
Thank you, Grandpa. That was really interesting.